The Americans often in their campaigns talk about the October surprise, something that happens at the last part of the campaign. I remember again '88 where the Conservatives did not want free trade to become the issue, but you couldn't stop it. Is there the possibility that again in these last 2 weeks that an issue could dominate, a theme, something could dominate that completely sees all of the campaigns? And if so, what might that be, Scott?
I think it would have to be a truly external event, and I don't mean
something not generated by the campaigns themselves.
Well, I think it would have to be similar to 2006, right, where you had the RCMP sort of intervene in the campaign, right, and it altered everything. And literally, we went from an 18-point lead, We being the Liberals. We being the Liberals in 2006. The day before that letter was released, we had, according to our tracking, an 18-point lead in Ontario. 4 days later, we were at a 5-point deficit. Okay, like that is literally a nuclear weapon has just erupted on your hands. And I think we would need, in this campaign, you would need one of these reports, one of these things. You would need them to actually come out, like the AG's report. You would need the Afghan documents to come out. You would need another development of another report or something like that that does two things. One, it actually comes out and is lethal on Harper, and two, it actually provides a steamroll vehicle to incorporate all that stuff and all those doubts and concerns and anxieties that people have about his character. If it's just chicken shit fighting about whether or not something's going to get released and all that stuff, he's sort of built his 36% base that will just la 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 la. So in order to get out of that, it's going to have to be a dramatic thing beyond that.
Jamie, you want to add?
Yeah, I think Scott's analysis on this is exactly right. The Prime Minister's support is like a stock that's discounted for a bad earnings report to come. People have made up their mind, right? And they may not like this guy. They may not want to invite him over, you know, to go camping with or whatever. But there's a bunch of people who've decided. A bunch of people have decided that they've got a bigger priority, and those people are the people who believe that the economy is the #1 priority, and that safe borders are #2 priority, whatever. So those people have already said, we don't like this business, this funny business, all this stuff and secrecy, but we've already made up our mind that we're going to go. And that's what's creating the Teflon for him now, because we're seeing all of these things happen. And you watch 3 days later, as Allan will tell you in the nightly tracking, you should be seeing something. Now you're seeing a little bit of chipping away in his support, which is what those attacks are doing. But I don't think they're enough. So I agree with Scott. It's going to have to be something so bad that people will say, enough. All right, I've given this guy, you know, the benefit of the doubt, and now this is too much. But that would have to be something awfully big.
Robin?
Never say never. As Harold Macmillan famously said, the thing that always trips you up are events. Yeah. I would guess that if it were to happen, it would be in the field of the Tories' rather imprudent outreach to some unsavory folks among new Canadian communities. And if a media organization or one of the other parties were able to find a real smoking gun among some of those people, and there is a hunt going on right now for that, it could have a devastating effect, because I think that would then push the campaign very much to the Liberals' advantage. All of these stories about the 905 seats that have large South Asian and other new Canadian populations voting Tory would flip, and the Liberals would be very strong in Southern Ontario and parts of Quebec and BC again. If there were to be something to happen, that's the only thing I can think it might be.
But it can't be a cap gun, though, right? Because because we saw this.
It has to be a smoking gun with a body.
Yeah, just because some idiot volunteer said some stupid thing, you know, and of course it took everybody off on a goose chase for a while, but didn't do anything to numbers.